Evening, everybody. It's Wednesday evening, about 7 o'clock, and I know it's a little late, but I just spent 90 minutes on the phone with E-Trade trying to find out why the market analysis, which is where I get all of my market internals and stuff, hasn't been updated since the day before yesterday, seeing as it's a market wire service. Okay, so this is your closing comment for Wednesday the 4th, and it is video number 882. And I remind you, I know I didn't this morning, I remind you to hit that subscribe and the notification button so that you can be supportive of our work. Okay, so we started off with the ADP numbers coming in at 330 jobs added to private payrolls. That was versus 653 expected, so a miss by half. And last month's number was lowered to 680,000, down 12,000 from the previous announcement. The market was down, and it was down all day, and it was down fairly hard. I know that, 0.9% doesn't seem like a big move, but, when you watch it all day and you see the market closing down 324, it seems like a big day. NASDAQ was up just under $20, or 0.1%. The S&P was down 20.5%. or 0.5%. The big losers, though, were the Russell down 27.26 or 1.23, and the biggest loser again today, the Dow Jones Transports down 342.33 or 2.35%. That's a pretty hefty chunk. Market internals were decidedly negative, 2-1 down in the NYSE, 1.8-1 down. So almost 2-1 down in the NASDAQ, which was up 19. Volume was a bit higher, and I want to tell you that one of the reasons is the most newly minted meme stock, Robinhood, that added almost 200 million shares to the total today. Okay, let's get to the news, the earnings news. ETHE with a beat, top and bottom line. The stock had closed 202.10 before the number, up 1164 or 6.1%. Immediately traded down $30. 172.45 was the low. The last right now is 174.80. That's down 15.68. So a $26, $27 reversal, down 8.3%, but down 14.5% from where it closed at 4 o'clock. Uber was a beat on revenues and a miss on earnings. The stock had closed 41.81, down 98 cents, immediately traded down to 37.90. The last is 40.01, down 278 or 6.45%. Fastly, which is a platform, if you recall, they had an outage in June, and I want to show you the chart of this stock. It had closed yesterday 44.54. They missed on revenues, although they beat on earnings, and as I said, 44.54, down $1.69, but then traded down to 35.61. Last is 36.09, down 10.15 or 22%. And here's what Fastly looked like. You have to remember that this stock, let's go to the weekly so I can give you some perspective. This stock in October was 136.5. Even this year, in January, it was 122.75. Today, $35, $36 with a low of $35.61 and a $12 range on the day. So that's particularly ugly. To give you also a look, ETSY, not quite as extreme, but nonetheless, in March, Etsy was 251, now it's 175. We also had ROKU with a beat, top and bottom line, but they missed with their guidance and the number of new accounts. The stock had closed 420.35 up 252. It traded down to 378. So give you a look. Last week the stock was 490.76. Today 385. So pretty hefty move, down 8% on the day today, but also for the last 2 weeks, down from 490, so 100 points or 20%. And Robinhood officially today became a meme stock, and we don't need much perspective here. Remember that the deal came at 38. Right here. It was down 8% the first day, up a little the second, up a little the third. Yesterday, we were up $9.12 or 24%, and today the stock hit a remarkable 85 before moving back to close around 60. Well, the last is 65.21, and that's up 39%, so 40%. But what was interesting here and is outstanding here is that this deal came with 52 million shares. The volume today, so far, still counting, 179.6%. That's 3.5 times the number of shares that are actually outstanding. And there isn't a big short position like there was in some of the other Reddit favorites because there's not a lot of stock to borrow here, and it's only 5 days old. And so this is a pretty dramatic move. This morning I told you about BYSI. This is a company with a phase 3 trial for non-small cell lung cancer. Closed at $9.63 yesterday. This morning, pre-market, it was actually up to over $42. The high during the day, as it turned out, was only $30. So never made it, to those extreme highs that I've warned you before come when the market is very thin in extended hours. So the range for the stock today was 30 on the high, 20.97 on the low. The last is 27.20, and that's up 17.57 or 183%. So not a bad day. Okay. The oil was down $2.40, down another 12 cents right now. The gold was up. As a matter of fact, it was up a chunk. When we talked this morning, it was up around the 1828 area. It actually got to 1835.90 and was turned back down later in the day. So it finished up just 40 cents, and tonight it's up just 30 cents. But again, it continues to bottom right around that 1808 area, which is above the consolidation here, above the 20-day moving average, and continuing to hold. Bitcoin was up 1,875 yesterday. It was down about 1,250. And so to give a look at that, it's down a little tonight, but it is definitely holding this area. Bounced off for 2 days, finished down here, down 12.15 yesterday, with a low right on the 200-day MA. Today, the low was right on the 200-day MA, and it closed on the high. And right now, as I said, it's down $90, which is really not much. The dollar was up 18 cents, and the bonds were up just under a quarter of a point. All right, everyone, I got to get to work on tonight's daily note. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. And I'll be back first thing in the morning.